Welcome to TE 326, Maintenance and Repairs of Electrical Equipment. Our topic for discussion is computer hardware. And then for this particular topic, we are going to look at some demonstration of computer hardwares. Now, I want you to take a careful look at the damaged hardwares displayed on the screen. Now, you're going to brainstorm so that you now report your observation. Now, from what you have seen, we'll be able to sum up that there are various types of technical failures that can occur in a computer. Any error can be eliminated with careful and systematic repairs. Now, proper maintenance of the hardware enhances the computer performance. Above all, you should always ensure that your computer system is free from dust and access to water or any other form of liquid in general. Now, there are some common hardware faults which we're going to identify. But we're going to take a look at some of the most common faults in the hardware. And the common hardware faults include monitor not displaying any content, keyboard not responding, cursor not moving on the screen, printer failing to turn up, or probably a floppy disk failing to open. Now, we shall demonstrate the process of identifying the possible causes and remedies for the following faults. The first one, as we say, is the issue of monitor not displaying any content. Now, we are going to look at troubleshooting of computer hardwares. Now, there are simple tips that we can use when we're troubleshooting for computer hardwares. The first part of the failure we're going to look at is the monitor. Now, we're going to look at some basic troubleshooting technique on the monitor. The monitor is a very important part of the computer, of course, as we know. Now, if the monitor is not working, to use the computer will become very, very useless because you can't do anything. Now, if it is not displaying the content, what do we do? The first thing you need to do is to ensure that it has been turned on by pressing the on and off button, as you can see being demonstrated. Now, after pressing the on and off button, you can see that the monitor still did not display. Then what do we do? The next thing we have to do is to check the cables which connect the computer monitor and the CPU. Now, this is being demonstrated. Check to see that the cable that connects the monitor to the CPU is connected properly. Now, if it is not properly connected, then remove it and plug it in again. As you can see, this is the cable that connects the monitor to the CPU. You remove it, clean it, remove dust, and then put it back again, tighten it firmly. Now, upon doing that, because if the cable that connects the monitor to the CPU is not properly connected, there is no way that the monitor will work. Now, if still the monitor did not work, then what do we do? The next thing is to ensure that the cord which connects the monitor to the power source is plugged in properly. Now you can see the power plug from the monitor to the socket, making sure that it's properly plugged in. If it is not properly plugged in, you now make sure that it is proper. As you can see, it has been properly plugged in, and yet the monitor fails to come. Then what do we do? Since the monitor fails to function, then there is need for us to check both the cables turn by turn. That is the cable that connects the monitor to the CPU, as well as the cable that connects the monitor to the supply unit. You will remove the cable, and then the next thing is we can now check using another monitor. You can use another, we'll connect it to another circuit to see. If it fails to perform, you can now remove the cable that connects to this CPU, use another monitor again, remove it and test it in another monitor to see whether it is the fault of the cable. You can still use another cable again, so use a new monitor, so that to ensure, to confirm that the cable is okay. If the cable is still not okay, then obviously the next thing is that we have to change that cable. That is the only remedy. It means the cable is damaged, and then we have to change it to make sure that the monitor comes back to life. Then if all we have just done, the basic tips, if all this fails, then of course it means it has gone beyond the normal troubleshooting tips. Then of course we have to consult a professional technician who will now do justice to the monitor. We're also going to look at that of keyboard not responding. Now the next hardware that we're going to troubleshoot is the keyboard. The keyboard is very, very important. It's an important part of the computer because without it, we cannot perform several tasks on our computer system. The keyboard, first of all, must be kept away from dust to operate properly. Now, if it doesn't work, the first thing we need to do is to check the connection between the keyboard and the CPU. Now, go through the connection, able to see. Now, look at the wire that connects the keyboard to the CPU. You can still remove it and reinsert it back again. And then after reinserting it back, try to press the keyboard to see whether it will function. Now, if it still didn't function, then we can try another socket again. Or another on the, let's look at another USB port. If there's another USB port on the CPU, you can try it in another USB port to see. Now, if it still did not function again, then we have to ensure that the keyboard driver is installed. If it is not installed or updated, then we have to make sure that it is properly installed for it to function. Above all, we have to check for dust in the keyboard, between the keyboard terminals, so that if there are dust, because it can also cause it not to function, then we can remove the dust either with the help of a vacuum cleaner or air compressor, or just simply tap the keyboard and make sure that the dust is completely removed from the keyboard. Then the cursor not moving on the screen. Now the next hardware we're going to look at is the mouse. Of course, if the cursor on the screen is not moving in a smooth manner, we need to check for dust or any residue on the trackball rollers of the keyboard, which is usually located underneath it. Because if there is presence of dust within the trackball rollers, it will not function. Now we have to remove the rear mouse cover, which will let the ball to come out, clean the trackball if needed, and remove the dust or residual. Then we'll now put the ball back again and finally put the cover. Now, if it works, it is okay. Now, if it didn't work, then we have to make sure that the connection between the mouse and the CPU is also effectively or firmly connected. You can still remove it, reinsert it, and if it still didn't work, check through the USB ports and then replace it in another USB to make sure that it is functioning properly. Now, if yes, you can still remove it, check another USB port, reinsert it in another one to see that it works. Now, if the mouse pointer still doesn't work in an acceptable manner, you can still run any antivirus software to delete the virus. Now, at the end of the demonstration, we have the following questions which we can see on the slide, which we expect you to brainstorm and answer. For the first one is, what is the essence of maintaining computer hardware? Then 2, if the monitor fails to display any content on the screen, what are the possible causes? And then 3, describe the possible remedies for a printer that fails to turn up. Now, by way of summarizing our lecture for today, we have identified that technical failures can occur in a computer. Any error, we said, can be eliminated with careful and systematic repair. We also did highlighted that proper maintenance of the hardware enhances the computer performance, and above all, you should ensure that your computer system is free from dust and access to water or any other form of liquid. Now, I expect you to brainstorm and answer those questions that were posed on the slide, and at the end of your submission, the answers should be posted to my email, which is displayed on the slide. That is adamujeba@gmail.com. Thank you.